Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to our IT 313 14th session. So, our topic for this afternoon is about data collection methods for qualitative research. So, our objectives are as follows. Number one, discuss data collection. Number two, value the importance of data collection. And number three, understand the need for data collection. So, we have here data collection methods for quantitative research. So there are many ways to categorize research methods, and with most falling into the fields of either qualitative or quantitative. So qualitative research uses non-measurable sources of data and relies mostly on observation techniques to gain insights. So it is the most used to answer questions beginning with why and how. So the examples of qualitative data collection methods include focus groups, observation, written records, and individual interviews. So quantitative research presents data in numerical format, enabling researchers to evaluate and understand this data through statistical analysis. So it answers the question of, as again, who, when, what, where, and how. And the common examples includes interviews, surveys, case studies, and document reviews. Generally speaking, quantitative data tells what the respondents' choices are, and the qualitative tells us why they made those decisions or those choices. So once you have determined which type of research you wish to undertake, so most of the time it's quantitative. It is time to select the data collection method. And for data collection, for the quantitative research or the collection method often overlaps and focuses on qualitative data collection methods. So to ensure accuracy and consistency, an appropriate sample size needs to be determined for quantitative research. So a sample should include true respondents to make general observations that are most reflective of the whole populations. So in compass with our topic for this afternoon, one of the topic is about surveys. And this is meaningful because surveys are data collection tool either to gather close-ended respondents from individual and groups. Question types primarily include the category and like for example, for the category you have yes or no, interval such as ratio questions, rating scale, and lighter scale. Dibla, you have 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and you're going to categorize 5 as the most likely and 1 will be the least likely. So from scale from 1 to 5, your respondent will select on the richer scale. So the advantages of surveys are as follows. Number one, we have speedy collection. So take note that surveys are user-friendly and oftentimes optimal length surveys are quick to complete and online respondents are available instantly. So most of the time, guys, I think you will use survey no for your as your data collection method. And speedy collection is one of the advantages. The second one is the wide reach, meaning to say, you can for the most part that we have induced technology for surveys, and you have your Google Forms already. So therefore, you can widely reach different audiences for your surveys. So that's what like the fourth year BSIT students are doing right now with their thesis. I think nakita nyo man to sa Facebook, no? May mga intros handa, party sa surveys handa, or you have participated in their wide reach for their survey. So for wide reach, online surveys invites can be sent out to hundreds of potential respondents at a time. The third one is targeted respondents. So using online panels allows you to target the right respondents for your study based on demographics and other profiling information. So these surveys are ideal choices when you want a quick feedback, which easily translate into statistics for analysis. Okay, so that is surveys. So let's move on. Okay, here are the advantages. I'm sorry. Why ko ano. The second one is interviews, no? For the interviews, we have, besides the advantages, let me just read a few things about or regarding interviews. So quantitative interviews are like surveys in that they use a question and answer format. So besides surveys na you can hand it out to your respondents. But if you want to have a preliminary survey of the agency that you want to conduct your study with, so interview is the most viable tool to take up. So in interviews, the respondents are read each question and answer option to them by an interviewer who records responses, whereas in surveys, the respondents reads each question and answer themselves, so recording their own response. So for quantitative interviews to be effective, each question and answer must be asked the same way to each respondent with little to or no input at all from the interviewer. So allow me guys to read some of the advantages of interview, no? So we have number one, higher responsiveness. Now, potential respondents are most likely to say yes to a market research in person than in ways other than a phone call or interview or ang ginaobra naton. Although you can still do that, guys, the teleconferencing and ang online class. However, online interview. However, it's most apparent that potential respondents are more likely to say yes if you are going to conduct it face to face. The second one is the clearer understanding. So interviews allows the respondents to seek classification from the interviewer if they are confused by a question. So for clearer understanding, this means or this outputs or provides the basic things for an interview to be successful. So clear understanding means the clarity of the questions at the same time of the answers that was being given by the interviewer from the interviewee. So you are the ones who is going to conduct the interview, therefore you are the interviewer, and the person that you are going to interview are the interviewee. Now, the third one will be less downtime. So this means that the market researcher can collect data as soon as the interview is conducted. So rather than wait to hear back from the respondents first, less downtime means less time consumed for an interview. So less time, less interaction, all the questions are being answered direct to the point. Okay. So other than that, guys, we have the secondary collection methods. So one example of the secondary collection method is the case study. Okay, pero most of the time, guys, ang ano natin is ginagamit is interview kag surveys. However, you may use the secondary data collection method just because you cannot do an interview or you cannot do a survey on a certain time. So may mga dyan nga instances nga hindi nyo pwede magamit ang survey kag mga interview. So other para hindi ka mag-waste ka time, you can opt for a secondary data collection method. And one of that is your case study. So case study are descriptive or exploratory publication which deals specific individuals, groups, or events. So whilst the case studies are conducted using qualitative methods such as direct observation and unconstructed or unstructured interviewing, so the researchers can gather statistical data published in these sources to gain quantitative insights. So another method is your academic journals. Academic journals are just the publication or the periodical publication in which scholarship relating to a particular academic discipline is published. So, ang inyo guys, like for example, kamo gakanda ka mong kakapaston nyo, and then wala pa ma-publish ang inyong ginobra, ang study nyo, wala pa malibro. So, hindi pa na siya academic journal. However, kung nabutang na siya sa library or sa iban nga reference section, or nakagraduate na kamo, so it becomes an academic journal. So, this periodical or academic journal will be will serve as a permanent and transparent forum for the presentation, scrutiny, and discussion of research. Meaning to say, it is made available as a reference. So it becomes an academic journal. So the third one are books, mga libro. So for books, a book is a number of pieces of paper, usually with words printed on them, which are fastened together and fixed inside a cover for stronger paper or cardboard. So books are just references also, aside from academic or besides from academic journals. However, if the author of that book is strongly adhere or academician or most reliable source of information, that books becomes an asset. So books is also considered as a secondary data collection method. So other than books, we have also magazines. Pero syempre guys, hindi man nami ang reference kon magazine or book with ang imo nga bulan ka information. However, as I've said, these are just the secondary sources. Pero kung academic journal gani guys, much stronger guro or mas preferred ang academic journal because it is scientifically published. So naka-undergo siya sa scientific process. That is why mas believable siya. So whereas on magazine naman, these magazines are periodical publications which is printed in gloss-coated and matte paper. So they are generally published on regular schedule and maintain a variety of content. So they are generally financed by advertising, kita nyo may mga pasayod sa magazines, by a purchase price, by prepaid subscription, or by the combination of the three. So as I've said, magazines and books are just secondary also data collection method. However, mas credible ang case study kag ang academic journal. The fifth one is also the last is the government publication. So this is also a document issue published, of course, by the government or financed by the local, state, federal, or international government agencies. And they include parliamentary publication, which means they have legislation, policy documents, discussion documents, statistics, and reports. So government publications are also credible. However, guys, as I've said, I think what's most important is the academic journal and the case study for the secondary data collection method. Mas ano siya, mas credible. So for your activity number 17, guys, what you're going to do is you're going to create interview questions for your preliminary interview. So you may infer with your group and decide on what kind of questions that you're going to follow. Actually, you made already the kung madumduman ninyo guys sa inyong chapter 2, may dyan ka mga open-ended questions again, survey. So you may use that or you may create your own interview. So for ang itong format, na siya, naka-ready-made doon. Pero I think mas mayad sa preliminary interview ninyo. Kaya we're talking about preliminary interview. I think himo kamo kay inyong questions sa preliminary interview. Ano itandaan nyo? Ato kagina ang 4W and 1H. So what, when, where, what, where, when, and how. 4W and 1H. Or 5W sa ata. What, when, where, So ang 4Ws and 1H. Tumduman yun. What, ano, what, when, where, who, who, what, when, where, how. No. So amunday guys, tamdan ninyo na. Okay. So our code of the day is what research presents data in a numerical format, enabling researchers to evaluate and understand this data through statistical analysis. Again, for the code of the day, what research presents data in a numerical format, enabling researchers to evaluate and understand this data through statistical analysis. So the answer is our topic for the day. Okay, so ad astra per sapientia, it means to the stars through knowledge. So thank you guys for attending our lecture for this afternoon. And I hope that you learned something out of the things that we did. And I'm thanking you all because um, uh, uh, there are how many weeks before our final examination, and needless to say, guys, please attend all your classes sa ano ninyo. I know that some of you are also attending your other classes, mga conflict or whatever, but I think we have two schedules man today and tomorrow. So that is why the code of the day will be activated tomorrow evening. So for your interview, as I've said, you're going to make I think you need to make at least 5 questions, no? Hindi nyo lang pagduruhon. So imuon yung nga format nga atong format nga tong last time sa chapter 2 nga ginobran niyo. So imuan nyo ka scale or i-plastar nyo anay sa Excel. Imuan nyo 5 ka question siya. So butang nyo in table form. Number 1, then sa babaw niya question, and then you have to put there the scale. So the scale you have 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and you're going to make a legend. Butangan nyo ka legend, no? Na 5 is the highest or the most likely ang label niya. Ang 3 ang partial or ang tunga-tunga, and ang 1 ang least likely na. So it means nga mag-answer sa ka interview questions. Sa interview question ninyo, maimo sa answeran butang mo ka questions no. So like for example, ano yung tanda ninyo sa what you're going to do, as I've said, is remember your 4W and 1H. So who, what, when, where, how. So mo dayad ang tanda na. So like for example, sa babaw, butangan nyo anay guys ka title ka study ninyo, and then pagkatapos nyo butang ka study ninyo ka title gali, I'm sorry, ang may mo na kamo ka table format. Sa table format butang ang first nga header is the questions, then you put there 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, maano ninyo guys ma-picture out? Kung hindi, let me present ang ato nga screen para nga makita ninyo. Okay, so you just open your Microsoft Excel. Okay, in your Microsoft Excel. So you put here sa title niyo diha. The title niyo sa nakaano siya. So para ma-one niyo center, you type Control P. Okay, so and then hindi niyo pag i-print i-Control P lang niyo para pagbalik niyo may border na diyan na. Para mamanan niyo kung din niya dang niyo, center. So butang niyo anay title ka study ninyo. Okay, so ang title nga guys, dapat i-center nyo dyan. So mag-center ka mo is sa may nyo, sa may large and center. Then pagkatapos, ang sa diyan ninyo, butang nyo the questions, no? So butang emerge naman siya. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. So emerge naman siya, then butang nyo the questions. Then after kada, I put there 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Then i-center nyo man siya, and then butangan nyo pa border. So the same thing with this. I-ano lang ninyo guys. And then yeah. Okay. Then butang nyo din question ninyo. So number 1, i-type ninyo yung question ninyo sa sa DIA. Okay, so 5 lang ka-questions guys kung ano ibutang ninyo doon yan. Dapat related sa title ka study ninyo. Okay? So 5 lang siya. So amo daya imo ninyo guys sa activity ninyo for this week. Okay? So do you have any questions guys regarding your activity? Pause mo lang, no? Question mo lang. So, this is the time that you're going to convene with your classmates. Sa group ninyo bala. And then by group daya duman ya ano ninyo, ya study, activity. Okay. Okay. So, I think that is all for this afternoon, guys. Do you have any clarifications or questions? Okay, we still have another class tomorrow. Then I will be activating the code of the day sa sunod lang. We're going to go back to normal. Kay last December, 'di ba, duro nagkaranabo no, may mga bagyo kag kung ano man. Parang ITY matigayon. Then ang klase naton nag-attend lang kita one class, no. So for this week naman siguro I think we can do the 2 classes na 1 AM and 1 PM. Para nga maka-cater kita sa mga classmates ninyong hindi ka-attend for this afternoon. So, salamat gid sa pag-attend ka klase ninyo and palihog obrahon lang ninyo yung ano ninyo, yung activity with your classmates. If you're wondering why is it that we carry over the activity from last December, because I have posted the activity quite early before December 20, which is ang December 20 is the start of our vacation, no? So, natabo is hindi tagad man kamo guys pagtawadaad ka, no? Garing lang na advance bi ka butang kag diyon na ori ang memo regarding the start of the vacation. So, mo da that we are carry over the week nga karang posting naton karang from 20 to 24. Okay. But anyway, guys, kung why pa kamo ka imo ka mga ka ano ninyo activity, it's safe to say that you can still pass your activity until this week. So I hope it's clear already, no? And we still have 2 weeks more until the final exam. So make most out of it, and please comply with your activity. I will be preparing the grades na siguro for the last sem. So if you still have some activity to comply, you can still pass it until this week siguro. Okay. So thank you so much for attending our class. Aside again, do you have any questions? No more? Okay. So thank you for attending, and see you next meeting, guys. So thank you and good afternoon.